I went from never quitting a job to now being on my third full-time job since the beginning of 2026, and we got to talk about it. We knew that moving might be a possibility going into my second job this year. We had heard rumors that there might be a job opening up that would not be only beneficial for my fiance, but that would be the most beneficial for both of us combined. But nothing was set in stone, so we knew that it was a possibility, but everything was confirmed super fast, and then we had to pack up and move all within a few weeks, and it was a very quick turnaround, and I ended up having to leave my second job. So leaving my first job at the beginning of the year, I had to leave. It was a decision I had to make for myself to just get out of that environment, because if you guys have been following along, or if you're new here, this is your first video, my job that I had at the beginning of the year was horrible. The working environment was just terrible. I had no work-life balance, and it was taking a huge toll on me. So I just had to leave to save myself. And this second job was not like that. I actually really enjoyed my second job. It was more closely aligned to the career that I'm wanting to have long-term for my full career. It was more aligned with that. It was in the industry I wanted to work in, and it was nice. I mean, the people there were very kind, very respectful. Work-life balance was a thing. I actually got to work remotely a few days a week once I was trained, and it was just a nice, peaceful job. It was the complete opposite of the first job. If anything, this job was a little too slow for me. Instead of constantly being, taken in all these different directions and working 12-hour shifts, it was not like that at all. Like, if anything, it was a little boring, which I think is exactly what I needed. I was so burnt out. I still am dealing with the repercussions of being in that work environment for so long. I just made a video about that if you want to check that out if you haven't already. I needed something boring. I needed something where I wasn't that important. And I wish that I could have stayed longer, as it was a decently well-known company and everyone treated me very well. I had to move. Leaving my first job was something I had to do to save myself and protect my mental health, my well-being. It was the clear right choice, and leaving my most recent job, where I liked working there and I liked the people I was working with and I was respected, it's making me feel something. I mean, now that I've moved and I have another job lined up, I'm more in the acceptance, moving on from it. But those weeks leading up to me leaving, it was pretty sad for me. I was sad, even though the circumstances around us moving are all good things. We moved back closer to both of our families. It's for a job that's going to set my fiance up for success, which is going to set us up for success in return. I also got a decently good job offer that will give me plenty of room for growth in my career. We're closer to family and friends, and overall, it's all good things, but I'm still just kind of sad. I think two things can be true at once. You can be happy to have a new beginning and also sad to close a chapter. This is the first time I've had to make a decision that wasn't because I had to, if that makes sense. Like if I stayed in the last town I was in, I would have been fine. I would have been happy. But if I got this new job and moved states and everything, I will still be happy and fulfilled. It's just weird having two good options. It's not like the first situation where it was so obviously the right and correct choice to leave and move on, whereas this is not as clear. So I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit. It's just been a weird transition, especially because I have only worked at this job for a few months, which is so not like me. As you guys can tell, I still don't really know how to feel about it or how I was feeling at the time, other than just sad and there's a loss there, even though, I'm closing this chapter to open up one that is full of opportunities and full of family and friends. I think another part of my emotional response to this move and having to leave the job is because I know the kind of job I'm getting myself into with this new job. I know that it's, again, similar. It's in the field I want to work in. The chances for growth and career opportunities are good. The pay's good. It's all good things, but it's a little more similar to my first job than what I would like, I guess, which I am looking forward to working there. I'm looking forward to being there and working hard and, you know, having responsibilities again. But I think part of me is also just worried that it's gonna end up like my first job. And that kind of comes with the trauma that came with my first job. I have this just irrational fear and worry that any responsibility and any type of stress related to work is going to be so detrimental that I'm gonna end up how I was at my old job, which is not true. I know in my head that it's not gonna be like that, but my emotions, my trauma brain is saying any responsibility is gonna stress you out. So I think that's another piece of it that I've been struggling with, but like I said, I'm just trying to remind myself that not all stress is bad stress. There is healthy stress, there is productive stress. No stress in no work environment is gonna be as bad as what I dealt with in my first job. And if it is, I can leave. And there will be other opportunities. Like if I really am struggling and I really can't handle the pressure, I can just start looking for another job and I'll be fine. I think another thing that leaving this second job has taught me is that you are not important in the eyes of your employer. And the reason why I say that is because when I approached my boss and actually told him, hey, I know I've only been here for a few months, but something came up and I have to move, he pretty much was like, yeah, we saw this coming. This job I was so thankful for, this job that I needed so bad and I loved so much. They were just like, yeah, we figured, well, we'll get your job posted on LinkedIn and we'll have someone replace you. It just made me realize, like, okay, everyone is replaceable. No company really cares about their people the way that you may care about your job. It's just not the case. And that's not anything against my old job. There's gonna be the same work that needs to be done, whether I'm the one doing it or whether it's another person doing it. I still see myself as a very loyal employee and I will work hard and give my best effort. But at the end of the day, if the company I'm working for is not serving me, I'm just not gonna feel pressure to tough it out. I just kind of was disillusioned. Like, it was the first time I was like, oh, so really no company cares about me. At the end of the day, I'm just a person who needs to make money like everybody else. And if that will be better somewhere else, then that will be better somewhere else. I don't think it's gonna be like that. You know, from what I've heard, it seems like my job is gonna be a little intense, a little stressful, but I am honestly excited. I'm trying to fight back those negative thoughts I'm feeling because of my old job, because I know myself. I know I like stress. I know I like a fast-paced environment. I know that if I had stayed at my last job as much as I needed at the time, I know if I had stayed in that role for years, I would be so bored. At the end of the day, I've learned a few things from this experience. One, leaving something doesn't mean it was bad for you. Like I said, I think this job was exactly what I needed at the time. I was so burnt out. I was so emotionally wrecked from that first job. I just needed something where not much was expected of me. I know that I needed that at the time. And so leaving it because of something that was out of my control doesn't mean that it was bad for me. Next, I learned that I'm not healed from what I went through after my first job. I still feel anxious. I still feel worried about having a level of responsibility of any kind, of any level. It's just gonna take more time and more self-reflection to fully heal from that. Next is I should just do what's best for me, because my employer will always do what's best for them. So if that's an environment that's not serving me and that's work that is making me miserable, work that's following me home, makes me not able to sleep at night, work that's stressing me out at unhealthy levels, then I'll find something else. Or if it's a situation completely out of my control and I now have to move, then I'm not gonna feel bad. They'll replace me, they'll do what they have to do, and I'll do what I have to do. And it's as simple as that. Lastly, it's okay to be sad about leaving this job, even though I'm leaving to make my life way better. I mean, objectively, there's really nothing to be sad about in terms of what's ahead, but it's okay to be sad about closing a chapter because it was what I needed. It's exactly what I needed at the time, and everybody there was amazing. And like I said, two things can be true at once. Your employer is doing what's best for them. You're just a number to them. But at the same time, the work I did, I liked. I felt seen, I felt valued, and I think it was important for me to have a working experience to where that was the case, because now I know what it's like to be respected, be valued. If I go into this new job or any job in the future and that's not the case, I know that that's not what it's supposed to be like, and I can leave. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Sorry if this was kind of a chaotic video. This has been such a crazy year. 2026 is going down in the books as one of the craziest years of my life, for sure. But I wanted to just give you guys a life update, let you know that I quit another job. So just a lot of craziness is happening. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to be making a lot of moving content, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.